That would be either through this Zoom or possibly potentially through the YouTube video. All the details in terms of how to do that are on the website, the town website. If you have questions or concerns about dialing in or have trouble dialing in, please call Susan. Her extension is 211. If we have trouble with the electronics of this meeting, or whatever you want to call it, and therefore we can't continue to conduct the meeting, it will be automatically adjourned. There will not necessarily be a formal vote to adjourn. All votes will be taken by roll call, and I'm going to start by doing a roll call for attendance. Matt.
Present.
Beth.
Here.
Tim.
Present.
Jim. I'm not hearing Jim. And Hal is present. Okay. I think next up is the Pledge to Allegiance. Would you all please rise, face the closest appropriate flag, and pledge to the flag, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And again, thinking from a national basis, again, thanks to all our first responders and everybody else helping on the COVID-19 front lines. Okay, I have some unfortunate news to break to Northwood. I'll do so by reading the following letter, if I can find it. Northwood Board of Selectmen. Due to my work commitments in Boston, I can no longer spend an average of up to 20 hours per week on selectmen's duties. Thus, please accept my resignation from the Northwood Board of Selectmen effective the close of business on 31 May 2020. I have current work deadlines and would appreciate no phone calls or emails on this subject matter. I need to say in response to that I did send Jim a note. I felt it was appropriate, and I let him know that we were deeply saddened by this news. I just want to indicate that Jim has helped us quite a bit. He brought a lot of expertise and knowledge, and quite frankly, it's going to be sorely missed. So I personally think this is very unfortunate news for Northwood. And I'm really saddened about this turn of events. I'm going to move on to office logistics. At our previous meeting, we had a discussion regarding office logistics. We directed Mark to investigate or answer all our questions related to the office logistics of relocating Catherine to the middle office. He returned a note indicating the recommendations that he has for us doing so. I'd like a motion to implement the move subject to the recommendations that Mark has given us, and authorize Chris to arrange the schedule, to arrange the move to be done within 7 days, 7 calendar days. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Do I have a second? We have a second. Okay, discussion. Tim.
What do we need to do to get a AC and heat in there for her? Unless she wants to bring a blanket from home. Help us out, Catherine. Can you do
Well, you know, she's pretty calm, cool, and collected, so the air conditioning I'm not worried about.
I'm just glad to be moving away from that the boiler and the server. That throws off quite a bit of heat.
Tim, I think it's
a work in progress. We're gonna do something. So I just want to make sure that we take care of her. Come forward.
I think that's the right approach. We need to make the move and figure out how to make it work So Catherine, you're going to have to coordinate with Chris to make sure that you get the stuff in there the way you want it. And then I guess we'd also leave it up to you and Lisa and the others to figure out how we arrange the copier and stuff. I don't think we should get in the middle of that.
We also got to figure out a doorknob or something that the chief said, a special doorknob or something that.
Yeah. So Tim, he listed off 5 things. And I think even to your point, he said, not for immediate, but, the AC/heat needs to be addressed. So I think if we follow his letter of recommendations, and that's what the motion would be to do, I think we'll be okay. But I think it was good to acknowledge that, yes, some of those recommendations won't necessarily happen right away. They just can't. But stuff like the doorknob, yes, we should be able to do that pretty quick.
All right.
And we just ask him to work with Chris to get that implemented. Any further discussion on that item? Hearing none, roll call vote. Matt,
Yes.
Beth,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
and Hal, yes. Okay, thank you for that item.
Moving on up, Catherine. The east side.
Now we won't be able to accept any excuses. Well, I was distracted. Okay. We also discussed, we reviewed a resume in non-public to hire with the idea that we're going to hire an EMT. That's Jessica Hill. The chief recommended hiring her at grade 14, step 3, or maybe it's step 14, grade 3. I don't know, but it's 14/3, $19.02 an hour. That rate puts her in the correct hierarchy relative to those with other, relative to their experience. Do I have a motion to that effect to hire the EMT?
I think she was a paramedic.
Yes, paramedic.
Paramedic.
Excuse me. Excuse me, thank you. So the motion is to hire her as a paramedic. Thank you. Do we have a second?
Or Beth, either one, don't matter. I'll second. Beth,
Okay,
fine.
thank you. Other discussion? Hearing none, roll call
Hal,
vote.
that was just a
Oops, sorry.
pending the background check, right? The criminal.
Ooh,
So
yes, pending
So-
background check, motor vehicle check, and
later on,
drug. Yes. So are you willing to amend your motion to include those items?
Yep.
And Beth, you're willing to second that? Okay. Are we now ready for the roll call vote? I think so.
I think that was everything.
Beth,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
and Hal, yes. So thank you on that.
And we'll let the chief know to tell her.
You know what? I will, yes, I will tell the chief. And as a matter of fact, I will also send a note to Chris. Just so that he hears it, from the select board as opposed to from Catherine. Catherine, you're making some interesting facial expressions. Is that to the board or to your son?
That would be to Finn.
Okay. Now just checking. Okay. I just made one item here as a note. When I was talking to somebody about a future item that we have on the agenda, they also indicated that they think it's important that we move along on the paving RFP. I know that it was sent out to the lawyers for review, and Tim, I think you have a copy. I just want to remind you, whatever you can do to provide or get input from the highway facility or others and work with Chris on that, please do so that we can be ready if at all possible by the 9th. Just please try to work some magic there because it's important. On a related topic, at the planning board meeting last night, we discussed the CIP. And there was some concerns that we didn't have highway-related items in there last year. And I asked that Bob talk with you about that and again, see what we can do, if we can get some input. If it's just from you, okay, at least we got some additional input. If we can get the highway committee folks and get some input from them too. But just please touch base with Bob Strobel so we can keep that moving along too. I would really, really appreciate it. And now we're moving on to the next item, which I sent everybody a note saying, I think this needs to be a public discussion. Does anybody disagree with me on that point? Okay. So just so the public understands, up for discussion right now is the hiring of an interim town administrator. I think we're going to have to be careful about what we discuss relative to this. So I'm just going to say that we have decided that we need to bring in an interim TA. I was authorized by the board to engage MRI and find out who might be available. I did that. I sent several notes to the board regarding what their president / chairperson, I believe, Alan Gould, sent me. So I'd like to ask first, does anybody have any questions as to what was sent? It was pretty clear, so I thought it was pretty good. So I guess at this point I'm asking for a motion to for me to enter into a contract with MRI to engage an interim TA per the contract that contract draft that Alan sent us. It would be for approximately 15 hours per week. Just to clarify a couple points, Alan indicated that the travel charges do not come into play until after the person has round trip traveled over an hour. So given that the potential candidate is from Rochester and would only be traveling maybe 15 or 20 minutes, the expectation. Pardon?
Farmington. Oh, he likes it from Farmington, correct?
Oh, he lives in Farmington? I thought maybe
Well,
that's
what my email said.
Okay, maybe I mixed up the towns. Maybe it's his working. Okay, I'm mixing it up. But in general, I don't think it's going to be more than a half hour. If it is, it's going to be nominal. So I feel pretty good about that. And then the second part is Alan feels that while he might not be able to start on Monday, we would be able to get some of his time on later in the week. I'm hoping maybe as early as Tuesday, but obviously Alan couldn't commit to that till he knows what we're doing and then firmly checks with the candidate. I think you also know that I gave him a list of what I thought were our priorities, and he did say that he would ask that as a minimum, me sit down with him and go over those and give him some background on those. And if the board would like me to do that, that's fine. If the board would like to do that in group, that's also fine, but we just need to figure out a time to meet with them on an expedited basis. Because I'm just going to be real open about this. I feel the same way as Jim. I'm putting in a lot of time trying to keep things running, and I can't continue either. It's very difficult, and I think we, need to try to get somebody on board as soon as we can. So that all said, do I have a motion to appoint me to enter into a contract with MRI to bring in an interim TA?
So moved.
Do I have a second? I have a second from Beth. Okay, discussion on this item. Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, Tim,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Beth,
Yes.
and Hal, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Okay, at this point, we're ready to move into non-public. We have 3 items at least. I'm sorry, Matt, did you want to?
I just want to make sure, do we want to, as a board, accept Mr. Hadley's resignation? Should we take action?
I guess we probably should.
Did he not make it tonight? Because I thought mine said like the 31st. Do we accept it?
Yeah,
Do
I
we
know.
make a
and that-
motion tonight and accept it 2 days, Matt, or how does that work? Do we accept it tonight? Does it? What? Good.
I don't know. I think we can accept it effective for the date that he chose.
I think we better do it effective the date he chose,
I would imagine.
because that's what his letter said. I mean, obviously his letter said, please, he's busy.
Mhm.
So
I'm
can we
a
make a
little bit-
motion tonight and say we accept it in 2 days?
Yeah, we accept it as of the 31st, close of business the
Right.
31st. How's that?
Okay.
So do I have a second on that motion? Second, okay, thank you. Discussion. Hearing none. Matt,
Yes.
Beth,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
and Hal, yes. And again, I'd just like the public to know that Jim, when he was with us, contributed greatly, and he's going to be missed.
Mr. Chairman, so what is the
Go
next
ahead.
step, or how do we fill that position, or what's the process?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Oh, geez. Tim, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have something to read to the board. So, title, LXIII elections, town elections, filling vacancies, section 669:63. Selectmen, vacancies in the Board of Selectmen shall be filled by appointment made by the remaining selectmen. If the I'm just paraphrasing now, if the selectmen fail to do so, citizens may petition for us, the court, to do so. And there's a bunch of stuff related to that, but basically it's up to us to appoint somebody. And so I think the smart move would be for us to post the opening immediately, ask for people to express interest and list their qualifications. I would like to have that, have all the input on that. I'd say by noon on Monday, the day before our next board meeting, so that at our next board meeting, we can vote on having somebody come in. If folks think we could move quicker than that, I'd be willing to do so, but I think this is important, and we need to give some time for people that might be considering it, time to think about it, and not try to make it so abrupt that we perhaps cut somebody out that might be willing to serve. So I guess what I am interested in is a motion to have Lisa post the opening on the town website and the other appropriate places, asking for interest and their qualifications, with a due date of noon, June 8th. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Do we have a second?
Second. Nope.
Second, Beth?
Right.
Okay, discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Beth?
Yes.
Tim?
Yeah, just one quick question before, I know discussion's over, but so if we get like 3 or 4 names, do we pick like the best qualified? Do we have a small little election?
It'll be up to us to decide,
Okay.
and yeah, we'll
Okay.
have to decide. So it could be something like, you might say, I nominate so-and-so, and then we have a vote. And if that person, if that passes, then we're done.
Okay, no, I appreciate it.
That would be one way to do it. We could just have a poll first to see who gets the most votes. So I guess what I'd say is think about the process that you want to use.
So there's nothing in the guidelines you read, you paraphrased real quick, right? So, okay.
No, but we can look up and think about what the process might be for doing that.
Okay.
I'm optimistic, but I don't know how many people are going to apply. It might not be.
Dozens will apply.
Well,
So yes, I vote yes.
yeah.
So,
After somebody just, yeah, and after I just, okay. I'm optimistic. Let's okay.
Who doesn't want to spend Friday night doing this?
I know.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
the problem is it's been too many hours lately. It's just.
Yes, and I think we're going to get this fixed.
works out to be about 3 cents an hour, people. So jump in.
Yeah, well, I'm down to about a penny an hour.
We
No, I mean, I
paid
have
this
to pay.
year.
I pay 3 cents into it.
Well, I think it's worse. Yeah. Okay. Please think about the approach you want to take. It's up to the board how we make that decision. It just needs to be clear to the public how we do it, and it needs to, stand up. So, Tim.
Yes, I vote yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry to get back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that was a good question. I think it was appropriate. And then I vote yes also. So Lisa,
Matt,
you have.
did Matt have a, did
I don't
Matt
think
vote?
Matt did yet.
Lisa, you have a to-do.
I vote yes.
Okay.
Oh, did I
Matt
get
said yes
Matt?
too.
I don't know.
Wait,
I'm
I
trusting
didn't-
Tim. Tim says I didn't vote. I vote yes.
You know what? I don't think you did. Because
Well,
I
I answered. I jumped in and asked the
Okay.
question before you got to Matt, so I
be
apologize.
clear, we're going to do it again. Beth,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
And you know what? I don't think I voted either. Yes. Okay. So Lisa, you are just one lucky person. You got an assignment. Did you hear what it was?
Yes, I heard. I have to post.
Okay. Okay. You,
I want to see her fancy lights. Move your head. Where
She's
are
back
you?
in the she's
You look
back in the Stargazer room.
It's
okay.
just like they're just pretty. Anyhow, I just want to remind you that you have to seal the minutes for Tuesday night.
Ooh, very good.
Thank you, Lisa.
Wow.
Welcome.
3 gold stars for that one. 3. Beth, you can award them because I'm sure you have some, right?
I know.
I am sure you have some. Yeah, but you have to do them socially distancing, so I'm not sure how you do that, but yeah, still nonetheless, you're getting 3 gold stars, Lisa. Okay, so do I have a motion to seal the minutes from
So
last
moved.
meeting? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Beth. Discussion on that. Hearing none, roll call vote. Tim,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Beth,
Yes.
Hal, yes. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much.
You still need to stick around. You just can't leave now.
Well, except now we're going into non-public, and I just would like to know the logistics of that. How are we doing that? Oops, Susan, you're on mute, so I guess I couldn't hear you.
Matt is taking care of it.
So
Matt's-
what's going to happen is Susan's going to stop the recording and the stream on YouTube. And then all I'm going to do is we'll put everyone except the board back into the waiting room. And we should have a seamless transition.
Okay, now before we do that, Susan and I want to practice something, and that's the to-do list. So who's doing what? I have that I'm doing, I'm telling Chris.
Okay.
Do you want to go down the list, Susan, or do you want me to tell you what I know so far?
Tell me what you know, because I
Okay,
was just,
okay, so I got that. I'm going to tell Chris about the office move. I'm going to
Yes.
tell the chief about hiring the EMT. I'm going to contact Alan regarding interim TA. And I think Lisa is going to do the posting for Mr. Hadley's vacancy.
I'm sorry, I added those all in with like the motions.
Oh, well, that's fine.
I didn't add them as a to-do list,
Yeah.
so. Okay, that's all I've got.
Well, you know me, if I don't get the to-do list, I forget to do them. So, okay, you agree with my list?
Yep, I don't see anything different. Hold on,
Okay.
let me double check.
Okay, so then we're ready to move into non-public.
RSA.
So this has to do with, well, it's really both reputation and personnel matters. So it's both A and C. Okay, so do I have a motion to go into non-public?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, thank you, Matt. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Matt,
Yes.
Beth,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
and Hal, yes. Okay, so we're going to take a 2-minute break while Matt does everything that he said, and then we'll be in non-public.
So
Thank
that
you
link
for
he sent us the other day is null and void?
Say
Yeah,
that-
the one I sent the other day, forget it. You're going to stay
Okay.
right where you are.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
And then